one of those medical professionals is Dr. John Brukowski, the founder of Tepeyac OBGYN in Virginia. He operates the largest fully pro-life OBGYN practice in the nation. And Dede Chism, the CEO and co-founder of Bella Health and Wellness, which provides family medicine and OBGYN healthcare in Colorado. Dede has a master's degree in nursing with a specialty as a perinatal nurse and practitioner. Dr. Brukowski, let's start with you. I just described the reaction to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine with blood clots. Why haven't the same measures of taking the pill off the shelves been taken by the FDA?
Because I fully believe that from its very beginning, there have been concerns about the pill, but they have been trumped by the politicalization of the sexual revolution that said we all must have the pill in order to be fully liberated. And women have been living this challenge for the last 50 years. There's just now many good resources coming out from people who've been on the pill, who are very strong feminists, who are saying, wait a second, we need to really take a second look at all these complications.
And we know in 2018 there was a BBC article that reported on different side effects, one of them being the masculinization of the female brain associated with these hormonal contraceptives. What are the other side effects that you've seen?
Well, they range because of the way the pill works, as we know. It disrupts a central process of the endocrine system. When you come into the gynecologist office or to the midwife and you say, I want my hormones checked, that's what you're really talking about. And the oral contraceptive shuts that off. It turns that part of the brain off. We call it the hypothalamic pituitary axis. So it intentionally does that. So one of the areas that has come up consistently from the beginning have been blood clots. In the beginning, there were these high-dose hormones, both estrogen and progesterone, were 6 to 7 times at higher risk for causing blood clots. Then they began to manipulate the progestin through the 80s and 90s, lowering the risk to 2 times. But now, once again, the birth control pill Yaz, which has just been out in the last several years, we've now found that those risks for blood clots are as high as the initial birth control pill called Anavid back in the 60s and 70s. So a $1.8 billion product had a $2 billion malpractice payout. And so even though there are many different brands, we are experiencing the same problems. One is blood clots, as mentioned. The other is depression. There are studies out of Denmark and the Netherlands in the 2016s, 2017s that show that women on the pill have a much higher diagnosis and treatment for depression. There's also, we now have found that birth control pills and the polycystic ovary syndrome that's so common, PCOS.
Right.
Well, what we found is that the core issue of that is insulin resistance. And guess what? When we've done further studies in birth control pills, not only do they increase cholesterol, increase triglycerides, which predispose you to heart disease, they also show that it increases insulin resistance and cortisol resistance, which we've studied with women having PMS.
Right. Dede, you know the side effects of hormonal contraceptives very well. Is that why you started Bella Clinics?
You know, that is a huge part, is that there is such a strong agenda for people to be on contraception. And there is very little out there where people can seek other alternatives, other fertility awareness-based methods, whether those are apps or they're the Creighton method or Billings or FEM, symptothermal. There's so many now really well studied and well-tried natural family planning methods. We don't even use natural family planning words so much. We call them fertility awareness-based methods. But people didn't even know where to find them. And people are hearing about these scary side effects, and they don't actually want to be on the pill anymore. You know, sadly, there's been a strong push towards IUDs, a long-acting type of contraception that is not oral contraception. But for us, being able to offer a more natural approach to our fertility was a big part of us starting Bella.
And Dede, why the push for IUDs? Is there some kind of incentive for doctors to push IUDs?
You know, it's very interesting because all the codes on how we bill things in medicine can be very, very similar. Even how we teach people with their fertility awareness, all those codes can be very similar. However, the difference between writing a prescription, seeing a person for 10 or 15 minutes and writing a prescription for birth control, and seeing a person for 10 or 15 minutes and inserting an IUD, an intrauterine device, which is it's a little piece often of plastic. It may or may not be coated in a hormone that's inserted into the uterus, and it can stay there for years. So a person can do, a physician provider can do that procedure in less than 10 minutes, and they can actually be reimbursed in the thousands of type of dollars. Like, it's way different. A person
so there's a financial incentive there.
Sure. I mean, you can make a lot of money on having a day placing IUDs. You will make your month's salary for many.
Dr. Brukowski, do you believe that the development of hormonal contraceptives has stopped research and development of women's health care, specifically with the natural options that Dede mentioned?
Absolutely. So there's 61 million women in the United States are on oral contraceptives. That's 82% of all reproductive age women. That's the magnitude of this. And once you push birth control pills, everything else gets pushed aside. Not only does the fertility awareness-based methods get lowered, but things such as the cervical cap, some natural collaborative items that feminists really want to use, they're pushed to the side, they're pushed away, because efficiency and economics, as well as the not bringing up all the full side effects of all of these other methods, including IUDs and long-acting reversible contraceptives. Once you start pushing those, all those other cooperative methods that are just as effective, but with much less side effects, get pushed to the side.
And Dede, then these many, many women that are noted by Dr. Brukowski that come to you, what are their stories like? What do they say to you when they have the kind of care that you provide?
So first of all, women come to us who are on oral contraceptions, the birth control pill. Many come to us who have had in an IUD or a Nexplanon, which is another device that's placed in the arm, and they are experiencing significant symptoms, and they're asking us, can you give me another option? People are coming in and saying, help me, will you take out my IUD? I have headaches every day. I am so sad, I can barely go to work. They can experience repetitive vaginal infections. And in the midst of this, they can also be at risk if they were to get pregnant for ectopic pregnancy, even a uterine rupture from the IUD itself. So there are risks, and women are asking, please help me to be whole again, because since this was in me, since I started the pill, since I had the IUD, since I had the Nexplanon, I'm not me anymore. Please help me.
Well, thank you for this discussion. I know that we're going to look to continue to cover this important issue.